Welcome to Discuss Review Cover 12, and can you believe it, I am doing yet another song from Miyavi. This time the song is Flashback, a masterclass in genre blending if I ever heard one. And to contextualize this song a bit, Flashback is somehow not a single, yet it is definitely one of the highlights from his 2017 collaboration album Samurai Sessions Volume 2. For this track, Miyavi collaborated with supremely talented bassist of the band Rize, KenKen. As such, the amount of slap on this song is double what we usually get from other Miyavi songs, but I'll get into that later. Just like the other two Miyavi songs that I've covered in this series so far, Flashback is a song that I came to know when my wife was driving around in about 2017-2018 listening to a Spotify mix of Miyavi songs, and this would have been around about the same time that the song came out as part of Samurai Sessions Volume 2. And just like the other two Miyavi songs that I've covered in this series so far, Flashback is a song I came to know in sort of 2017-2018, which would have been around the time the song came out as part of Samurai Sessions Volume 2, when my wife was driving around listening to like a pre-made Spotify mix of Miyavi songs. Like a lot of Miyavi songs from around this time, Flashback is very much bilingual, being sort of split evenly between Japanese and English. This was also the incredibly impactful opening the first time we saw him live, and it featured as the second time we saw him live, as it happens. Elsewhere, a lot of other people might know this song as the opening for the anime Kokkoku, and it's fair to say that this is one of those rare times where the opening song is more famous than the anime itself, but if you're into sort of supernatural shows like I am, it's definitely worth a watch. But besides that, this is all of the personal and social context I can think of for the song Flashback. So let's talk about the music itself, because this I do have a lot to say about. Clocking in at exactly 3 minutes, this song is very economical with the use of that time. Broadly speaking, it can be split into two parts, with the first part being a massive slap to the face and the second part sort of carrying you off into the heavens before lowering you gently back down to the ground again. And if we were just to look at the guitar and vocal parts of this song only, we would see that it's actually very simple and quite repetitive. The first part features this very short rapped verse followed by a guitar lick section, and then that's just repeated, and then after that we have the same chorus chanted 7 times with a solo that follows the melody of the chorus quite closely. However, if that was all there was to this song, it would not be anywhere near as interesting as it actually is. Earlier I described this song as a masterclass of genre blending, so let's talk about that now. Miyavi works with a songwriter and producer called Leonard Skolnick, and if he's responsible for all this, then he is some kind of mad genius. Broadly speaking, Flashback is a rock song, with the first part being specifically funk rock, and the remainder of the song could be described as dance rock. Go and watch any music producer on YouTube try and break this song down, and they will draw your attention to the various hip hop, trap, techno and dance elements that are sprinkled throughout this track. I recommend drumroll Tony Reacts, but anyone who does the Rick Beato thing of pausing it to really analyze this song is going to find a lot of treasure here. And it's not just the drum grooves and fills, but also things like risers and filter sweeps and all that other good stuff. The overall effect is that every section, and more importantly every repeat, shifts gears continually throughout the song, and it never gets stale. To further elaborate on the two sections, the energetic funk rock of the first third is definitely in the wheelhouse of like early Chili Peppers, but heavily infused with techno and hip hop. This section has a heavy amount of slapping and attitude, and it only ramps up further about a minute in. Up until this point, every slapped string from both Miyavi and KenKen is heavy, sharp, and it cuts right through the mix. And then there's easily my favorite part of the song. Precisely on 1 minute 9, everything shifts very suddenly, and depending on who you are, I think there are very different things that people will notice. I'd expect a typical music enthusiast to pick up on the fact that the drums and the bass drop out, and that there are some sort of like chords being played underneath that chanting chorus that is also very high but is also doubled up with another vocal. A music producer will notice that it's not just the bass guitar that's stopped, but that all of the low end has been rolled off the guitar, and when the bass guitar does come back in, it's noticeably warmer. And I'd expect that a lot of musicians would pick up on those chords being full 7 chords that are played for extended periods of time. But there's something else that I picked up on that I've not seen anyone else talk about yet, and it's in the music theory side of things. Flashback is well and truly in the key of G minor throughout, but the use of this key in both parts is night and day as far as I'm concerned. The minor pentatonic shape certainly has a reputation for being the lazy improviser's tool of choice, with every teenage wannabe lead guitarist and like Grandad Deep Purple cover band using it or overusing it ad nauseum. But like with anything in music, there is a time and a place for it to be used effectively, and with all that heavy funk rock attitude we have in the first part, the harmonic information is intentionally kept simplistic here. KenKen occasionally travels across the second degree A on the way between the root and the third, but I'm pretty sure at no point in the first part is E flat, the 6th, ever played, which is something that really stood out to me the second that high vocal hit, because the first chord we get is E flat major 7. In fact, the remaining 2/3 of the song follows a chord progression of 6, 5, 1, 5, and despite how simple this is, I could easily talk about how effective this chord progression is for a further 10 minutes. But I'll just talk about the most notable parts for now. Aside from leading the progression with a chord whose root note has been decidedly missing so far, there is something else that's going on here that makes this part of the song really interesting. Every chord in this progression contains the note D, and the second and fourth chords are D7. Now, the overall key of the song doesn't shift to D, but we're definitely having our attention drawn to it. If you're a musician and you haven't yet tried to work out what the significance of all this is, feel free to pause the video right here and test yourself. Okay, so the significance of all of this is that in the key of G minor, the 5th degree chord is D minor, not D major, with that F becoming F sharp. And in the wider context of G minor, this augments the 7th. Now, there are going to be 2 reactions to me saying that. One from music theory nerds like myself, and one from everyone else. Everyone else right now is probably thinking, yeah, but the music theory nerds are all collectively going, harmonic minor. This subtle change of one note in the scale really underpins the tune with this eerie and exotic melancholy that probably helped it to be sold as the opening to a supernatural anime, but it also gives it this kind of light touch of romanticism, and this interplay between the key of G minor and that F sharp note really gets brought to the fore in the second line of the chorus, especially when the guitar solo starts to sync up with it towards the very end of the song. And honestly, this might be my favourite part of the song overall. In learning, recording and attempting at least to produce this song, I've learned that this song is both incredibly simplistic and incredibly complex at the same time. And even the other day, after having finished recording my cover, I noticed like a couple of new drum fills that I had not heard before. Honestly, I'll be happy if my cover at the end of this video is even 60% as close as it can be to the original. Every time I make one of these videos, I end up pushing myself to be a little bit better as both a musician and a producer, or at least attempt to be a producer. But for Flashback, I really had to learn like all new techniques for this. But it's not just my experience of recording this song that makes me say this. Flashback is very rich. I'm going to rate it as a 9 out of 10, and the way that this could have been potentially pushed to be in a 10 out of 10 is if it had like another section, another part that allowed those ideas to evolve further. And with that, please enjoy my cover featuring much higher vocals than I ever thought I was capable of recording, and consider turning on closed captions about now. Coming in, coming out, Maware me take me now. Noise do mamare, you can see me but you hear me loud. Don't that make you crazy now? Don't that make you crazy now? Me wo korose kono sakawa, it's all upside down. coming in, coming out. Maware me te mina. Noise mamare de, you can see me but you hear me loud. Don't that make you crazy now? Don't that make you crazy now? Me wo korase kono sekai wa, it's all upside down. Crazy now, crazy now, crazy now, crazy now, crazy, 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 crazy. Don't stop my door and I flashback. Look up, Kitsuke bar, it's all past. Too fast, Hiki Sakara Sosa. Don't stop my door and I flashback. Look up, Kitsuke bar, it's all past. Too fast, Hiki Sakara Sosa. Don't stop my door and I flashback. Look up, Kitsuke bar, it's all past. Too fast, Hiki Sakara Sosa. Don't stop my door and I flashback. Look up, Kitsuke bar, it's all past. Too fast, Hiki Sakara Sosa. Don't stop my door and I flashback. Look up, Kitsuke bar, it's all past. Too fast, Hiki Sakara Sosa. Don't stop my door and I flashback. Look up, Kitsuke bar, it's all past. Too fast, Hiki Sakara Sosa. Don't stop my door and I flashback. Look up, Kitsuke bar, it's all past. Too fast, Hiki Sakara Sosa. Don't stop my door and I flashback. Look up, Kitsuke bar, it's all past. Too fast, Hiki Sakara Sosa.